So Richard's going to, and Daniel going to talk us through some of the benefit realisation, and we've got some of the team here to show some of the snazzy tools and things that we've got in place that have been some of the outputs to date.
Thank you for this. So what we've got now is a little bit of round robin with some of the team. We're going to be talking about the benefits, but just to frame this up, there's lots of benefits. We're zooming in on the things that are customer oriented. There's benefits in project management. There's benefits in how we plan. There's lots of benefits. In the big pie, we're looking at one wedge, okay? So the first guest speaker we've got today, I believe, is Pam. And I'll just flash up your slide, Pam. Welcome to the hot seat.
Why, thank you. I think it's my favourite thing.
Pam is going to talk to us about the front face, the coal face of customer service, which is the customer liaison people, and some of the quite radical changes we've been making in that space. Thanks, Pam.
Absolutely. So I probably would sit here all day if I could, because we have had some pretty major changes in the customer liaison team. So I guess starting, excuse me if I'm reading, but I'll forget everything. As we're all aware, we only get one chance to make a first impression, and it's really important that we do make that first impression in the right way to the right people. So pre-transformation, everyone will be aware that we worked mainly at headquarters and also at the Wahimo Service Centre. We always seem to forget that Palmerston has been doing what we're now doing for an awfully long time and doing it really well. We now cover the HQ, the library, and we're soon, hopefully, going to be working with Service Centre and the Aquatic Centre and also our other facilities. So we're spreading our little tentacles far and wide to give our community the best opportunity to do their business with us. It was a really big job, and at times it felt really tough, but it was also a really good opportunity. The depth and breadth of what is required from a CLO is really, really enormous. And we needed staff that were trained, confident, and felt connected, but we also needed to do it quite quickly. So with the process, there were quite a few bumps along the way, as you can imagine, and I imagine there still will be quite a lot of bumps to come. I had to be very hands-on operationally as we cross-train people, which is not how I would normally operate as the manager of the team, but someone had to fill the gaps, and I was that person, and I did have to learn a lot of those things myself along the way. So I haven't asked my team to do anything that I'm not prepared to do or that I won't do. So we've now worked to cross-train people, and we've also taken a temporary pool of people to help us out. We had to train them, of course, but that also ensures gaps are filled for planned and unplanned leave. We've had to get really creative in the way we train people. We've used what I guess I would call blended learning, mixing different ways, and also understanding how people learn. So that was putting, I guess, an example, new staff with experienced staff so they could learn from each other, because the different areas were experts in their particular area, but cross-training has really seen some people come to the fore, and they're actually enjoying some of the other parts of the business that they really hadn't had much contact with. And I guess that an example of how that training is working is when we transition from working 5 days a week to 6 with quite limited time and preparation, and working out of the library, opening on a Saturday. Previously, the library had been closed from time to time because of staff shortages, but bringing the wider team together has mitigated all of that, and I'm really happy that the library has not had to close as a result of any staffing shortages since the group was stood up in March this year. So I take that as a pretty big achievement. It's making council services available to people who may not have been able to take up their services during normal work hours. Some people still do like their personal touch. And also moving forward, if we have to close a service for any reason, as an example, the library to do any alignment of the physical library layout, customers are still going to be able to access our services via the other facilities, the Aquatic Centre to name one. So it's to keep that continuity of service for our community and we've been getting some really good feedback from people that they are enjoying. They didn't think they were going to, but they actually are enjoying coming into our other venues to do their business. Trying to be realistic about this with our officer was quite a challenge as well, because we've asked a lot of our people to step right outside of their comfort zone. But we do want them to feel confident and able to give friendly professional service. And I guess the other side of that is that most people see this customer service side of our work, but there's also heaps going on in the background to keep everything running smoothly. It's a little bit like that swan we talk about gliding on the lake with its feet pedaling really hard underneath, and the team are working really hard to balance that. It can be a bit tricky, but we do have a system now called Employment Hero, which is payroll and a management system. And with the help of Employment Hero, the rostering, well, I have a senior in my team, and Marianne does the roster for me because she's got a better head for that than I have. And it just gets the schedule out there to everyone. Most people have the app on their phone, which is great. And when there's a shift available, if somebody's on leave or sick, Marianne can put those shifts out to bid, and the temporary staff or anybody who's actually not working can actually bid for those shifts. So it's made life a heap easier, and no one's running around making phone calls, emailing, begging people to work. So Employment Hero has also been a really good tool for us. So that's kind of us in a nutshell, a very small nutshell. We've got a very big nutshell, but and we've still got a long way to go. But I believe that we're well and truly on the way. And the staff, I have to say, I just would like to thank them all for embracing the changes and really coming along on the journey with this new way of working.
Thank you, Pam.
Okay.
Thank you, Pam. So I just to sort of add on to what Pam has just shared with everybody, we've done an awful lot of remodeling of systems, processes, training people, and we're gradually deploying that. We've deployed it to the library and we're deploying it to more and more locations. And the benefit is to the customer. It's a customer-centric model where their needs come first. I know you're going to talk about ratepayers, but we're just going to ignore that bit. Customer-centric thinking. Yeah, I can tell. But my point is, now as we bring more and more of our facilities, which we've already got, into this way of working, we get consistency of service, we get a better structure of service, we get extended hours of service. There's so much in it that benefits the customer, and we've done an awful lot, and we just need to keep at it, and it will just get better and better. But now I just might pause for a tick. Thank you, Pam. And we'll let Daniel jump over and we'll do a little bit of screen swapping.
Hang on, I think there are just a couple of questions. Just a couple of questions for Pamela. Thank you so much for that. Jim.
Yeah, thank you. Just apropos of remodelling, I think we've had mention of the fact that there's going to be a not insignificant redesign in the library. When's it going to happen? And has anyone got any sort of concept drawings or anything of that sort? Because it would seem to me to be, I mean, I like the atmosphere in there, but it doesn't seem to me, the location of the desk at the moment doesn't seem right. And obviously the fact that we're redesigning it would suggest that that's a view shared by the ELT and others. So I don't know who answers that, you Pam or you Lisa or somebody.
I think given that Pam sat down, I'll jump in there. It is something that Chloe, Pam and the whole team are working on. There had been some planned realignment of layout in the library anyway, and I believe at the start of November is the first stage of that. And I'm going to be trying to get desk changes done either at that period or shortly after. I'd like to be going into Christmas with it absolutely done. We all agree the desk is not in the right place, including the staff, and there's some elements to it that we want to change so that cash handling and things like that can be done a bit with a bit more confidence also. So yeah, I would like to see that happened before Christmas. I am conscious that that's actually rolling around really quickly, and we want to do it once and do it right. This current desk was always a temporary one, and we're also looking at the sort of placemaking flow into the library, into the desk, the whole piece together.
Logic would suggest that the desk currently by the entrance, but perhaps parallel to the walkway, rather than at right angles to it, would make sense on either left or right hand side. Yeah.
Cool, thank you. Probably just a couple of queries from me, just very quickly. Thank you very much, Pamela, for that. It's nice to hear from you in terms of that, how it's going. I think just some of the feedback is around just how do we protect privacy when customers are coming in and just considering that in terms of the reconfiguration. And then also, are we collecting data around the peak times, like for inquiries and things so you can manage your workflow? Oh, yeah, cool.
Yep, again, just
Thank you.
given Pam sat down, yes, privacy is something that's part of that rework, including the option of privacy booths, things like that. And so that if anything does occur, that desk is not in the middle of the library and it disrupts everybody. And stats are being gathered in terms of who's coming in, when they're coming in, and we've also got the ability to use our camera tools via still shading faces to keep privacy of people, but to be able to see the flow through the library, the timings, the peak times, some really good information.